This is WNEP TV 16, the news station. Now, Nolan Johannes, Karen Harch, Jack Ruland in Skycam 16, meteorologist Tom Clark with his backyard forecast, and Tim Carlson Sports. This is Newswatch 16.
Good evening. They fought hard, but clothing and shoe workers have lost their fight against imports.
Lawmakers in the House have failed to override President Reagan's veto of an import quota bill. For months, textile and shoe workers have been urging their congressmen to override the veto. The workers say the quotas are needed to protect their jobs from foreign competition. But this afternoon, the House could not come up with enough votes. A total of 276 congressmen did vote to override the veto, but that was 8 votes short of the 2/3 majority needed. Congressman George Gekas of Central Pennsylvania says he voted against the override because it would end up hurting a lot of people.
Not jeopardizing the farmer, the farm worker, the retail worker, and others who will be hurt by an override of the veto. I'm for the textile worker, and I'm for the farmer, and therefore I must vote no on this bill.
Other congressmen said the override could lead to an international trade war.
Many people expected an override to make it through the democratically controlled House, and even some Republicans voted for an override.
Tonight, joining us live via satellite from Washington are 2 of our area's representatives. One, Republican Congressman Joseph McDade. The other, Democrat Congressman Paul Kanjorski.
First of all, thank you both for being with us tonight live from Washington. Both of you did vote for that override. Are you surprised you did not get the support you needed? Congressman Kanjorski first.
I'm sorry we didn't catch that. We had some interruption there.
Okay, Congressman Kanjorski, are you surprised that you did not get the support you needed in the House? A lot of people expected it to make it through the House.
Well, we had a count, and we had anticipated that 80% of the Democratic side would have delivered their votes, and we had 205 Democrats, and we expected 80 votes on the Republican side, but we actually came in with 71, so we missed it by 8 votes on the override. We're disappointed, but I think Joe and I both agree that it's very tough to override a very popular incumbent president with all the aid and all the assistance that he can give and all the pressure. So we're still going to carry the fight on and hope that the omnibus trade bill goes forward.
Okay, thank you, Congressman. Congressman McDade, despite your vote to override, do you agree with President Reagan that if this had gone through, it would probably affect, as far as the countries that import our goods are concerned, would have affected a trade war, and inevitably it would have been to the detriment of workers here in the U.S.?
Well, of course, I don't agree with that, Nolan. Otherwise, I wouldn't have supported the override. I think what's at issue is one of the great debates in the country that, and they're all great, and this is another one. It was a very hotly contested fight. In my judgment, those who argue that we may be involved in a trade war haven't looked around. We are in a trade war, not just textiles. If we wanted to talk about, for example, electronics, here we are on television. I'm looking at a Sony camera that's taking my picture. The last 2 producers in the United States, one of them is in Scranton, PA, the RCA people, producing television. The last other market in the United States is General Electric. Nobody else in the United States makes them. Nobody makes radios, nobody makes VCRs. We're in a trade war. Steel, automobiles, machine tools, ball bearings, etc. So I think we had a very important confrontation today. I think it's good for the country. I'm sorry that we lost. I wish we could have affected a different outcome. The battle will continue in other areas, and I think it's important that we continue it. It is one of the areas that we need to give our attention as a nation. Times change, and this whole process is changing. The whole picture is changing. We need to be aware of it.
Okay, gentlemen, thank you very much for your time tonight.
Thank you. Garment and shoe workers are obviously angry over what happened in Washington today. We've been telling you for some time that those workers in our area had been counting on Congress to help protect their jobs. Newswatch 16's Bob Costantini went to Schuylkill County to find out what the future holds now.
We broke the news to workers here at Model Garment Company near Frackville.
The House of Representatives has voted not to override the president's veto.
That's not good.
What do they have to worry about? They're sitting on Capitol Hill with their pockets full. We're sitting here trying to earn a living.
This plant keeps 250 people working, though this year it is only run at 63% production capacity. With Congress sustaining the president's veto, some workers see a dim future for the garment industry in northeastern and central Pennsylvania. Many clothing factories have already closed since 1980. the year import levels started going up drastically.
If it keeps up, no. They'll all shut down. They'll shut down one by one.
Many local garment workers marched in Washington last week to push for the veto override on Capitol Hill.
When we were at Washington, I had the impression that they would be in favor of the override. And, you know, as far as our public officials go, I think they're going to have to stand and account for that sometime in the very near future.
This is a modern plant, but still having tough times staying busy.
We'll keep plugging away as long as we can, and as long as it makes sense to us. We owe a lot of money to the banks, so we'll keep on working. And
the workday is over here for most of the workers just outside of Frackville. They're going home disappointed, knowing there'll be no help from Washington in keeping their jobs. Bob Costantini, Newswatch 16, near Frackville.
There is some good news for our area from Washington. The House already voted today to okay nearly $21 million for a new Social Security building in the Wilkes-Barre area. But the Senate must still approve that bill before the money would be available.
Also in Washington today, the Senate Appropriations Committee approved $66 million for Pennsylvania military construction projects. Among them, in Schuylkill County, over $2 million will be spent on additions to this reserve center in Schuylkill Haven. And in Union County, $1.3 million is earmarked for an Army Reserve Maintenance Center in Lewisburg. The full Senate and then the House must now approve the spending measure for this fiscal year.
Coming up, a jury tries to decide if a Carbon County woman killed her husband to protect herself.
Plus, rescued from a burning boat in New York. We'll tell you how a Luzerne County man got some help from home as Newswatch 16 continues.
Everybody knows that Nexus is a really good shampoo, so everybody uses it. Until somebody notices that everybody is using it and puts the Nexus someplace where just anybody can't find it. Well, nobody's going to stand for that, and pretty soon, everybody is trying to keep anybody and everybody from finding the Nexus.
Honey, have you seen the Nexus?
Where did you look? Nexus is easy to find. It's at hairstyling salons everywhere.
Hamburger places may be good at making hamburgers, but when they try to make chicken, it doesn't always fly. That's why I count on the chicken experts, Kentucky Fried Chicken. The Colonel's secret recipe makes their chicken tender, juicy, and downright delicious.
Finger licking good. At Kentucky Fried Chicken, all we do is chicken, so we do it right. Those burger places are only fooling themselves.
Kentucky Fried Chicken, we do chicken right.
A Luzerne County boat accident victim says he's lucky to be alive tonight, thanks to 3 men he had never before met. A strange twist of fate brought together the 4 men over the weekend on Lake Oswego in upstate New York. Newswatch 16's Mark Davis has the amazing rescue story in this exclusive report.
Mike Pope of Luzerne had been standing on the deck of this boat when it blew up. An explosion knocked him into the water without a life jacket, and he can't swim. Mike grabbed the burning boat just to stay afloat and then did some praying.
Well, the only thing that went through my mind, I really thought I was going to die because I just thought it was going to explode because everybody was screaming it's going to explode. And when you see a fire that great like it was, it was just something that when I grabbed a hold of that rope, I just told them, get me ashore, get me ashore.
That lifeline came from a boat which saw the fire and saw Mike hanging on for his life. You can see Mike being rescued in these photos taken by a bystander. Jeff Rentner, Fran Green, and John Wirtz, 3 local people who are regular fishermen on the lake, never hesitated to help.
The first thing I saw was the look on his face. He seemed like he felt, his luck had run out, really, and that with all the people around and no one seemed to be coming to his rescue, I think he felt like his number was up.
We got a life preserver to him and got him to let go of the boat and move away a little bit and then grabbed the rope that we had in our boat, and after a couple of tosses, luckily, he was able to get a hold of the rope, and we just pulled Mike up to the side of the boat and grabbed his arm and then got out of there.
The man obviously was terrified, and when we got him over to the dock where we were, we helped get him out of the water. At that point, he could touch the bottom. Even then, he didn't even want to put his feet down. He was shaken.
Mike Pope still shakes a little bit when he thinks about what might have happened, but he's glad he's around to talk about it.
I just prayed to God that I made it. Those people just are something, I'll tell you that.
Mark Davis, Newswatch 16, Luzerne.
Next, meteorologist Tom Clark with the word on the rain.
And it really came down today.
It did, in buckets, but only across a small portion of the area. You know, some places didn't get any rain at all today. We'll talk about the weekend when we come back. You're watching Newswatch 16 on WNEP TV, and we're proud to serve Jim Thorpe and all of Carbon County.
I'm Elliot Katuna. It's back-to-school savings time at the Jean King. Stop in at any Jean King store now and save big on Levi's jeans. Student and husky size cords, $15.88. Boys size 8 to 14, $13.88. Junior and Missy straight leg denims only $20. Men's basic and button front straight leg pre-wash $22. And straight leg cords only $16.88.
Jean King's got it all for less.
Before you think of lighting your stove this winter, dream of a stove that can't overheat. Dream of a stove that you never shake a grate. The dream comes true. The Alaska Stoker Stove. Like our Stoker Stove console, the perfect replacement stove with solid marble trim, completely automatic and pre-wired. See one burning today at your Stoker Stove dealer.
The Alaska Stoker Stove is available at these fine area dealers.
Well, let's go outside right now and find out how things are in the backyard. Tom?
Well, they've settled down quite a bit, Nolan. Thank you. We had a heavy thunder shower come through at about an hour ago, left about 1/10 of an inch of rain. But there are more thunderstorms across Pennsylvania and west of the state at this hour, and they're heading our way. So let's check in with our weather watchers now and find out what's happening out there in Center County. Alan Thompson in Howard has 86 degrees now and sunny. No rain there today. Mill Grove, Columbia County, Foreman Osborne checks in with 74, 1/10 of an inch of rain there this afternoon in a heavy shower. And Ryan and Kyle Razor in Milford, Pike County have 78 degrees now in their backyard. In our backyard, there's quite a bit of blue sky overhead, some dark clouds on the horizon. 77 degrees, 74% humidity. Steamy in the backyard. South wind at 7, the barometer 30.07. And the range in temperature, 82 and 64 this afternoon. 100, the record high for the date set back in 1918. And there's a view today from New Boston in Schuylkill County. Some pretty flowers waving in the breeze down there today. Kind of a warm wind this afternoon. The radar view shows a line of showers and thunderstorms now moving into the eastern counties of Pennsylvania. Some of them putting down some heavy downpours and some strong gusty winds, but there are no severe thunderstorm watches or warnings out for the area at this hour, so just maybe expect a downpour between now and daybreak tomorrow because, well, things are settling down just a bit out to the west, but more showers and thunderstorms are developing. Just a light sprinkle now in the backyard. And look out to the west, more thunderstorms tracking in from Ohio. Maybe a break in the action for the next hour or so here in the Wilkes-Barre-Scranton area, but anytime after 9, 10 o'clock tonight, it could fire up once again. And the satellite view shows that line of storms in eastern PA, more to the west. Quite a big storm system here coming in from Illinois, and that will track up just north of the state and bring us a chance for more rain tomorrow. And then I think things will dry out a bit on Friday, and then the weekend is shaping up to be kind of half and half at this point. Overnight tonight, very, very stuffy, very humid. Not much of a breeze out there to cool things off. Hot bottom about 64 tonight. Jim Thorpe, 65 degrees, and some thunderstorms now in the eastern counties, but a few more could fire up later on tonight. Benton, 64. Lock Haven, about 66 tonight. The wind light out of the south. Here's the sunrise time for tomorrow morning, and that will be at 6:04. 8:14, the sunset tomorrow evening. Light sprinkle continues in the backyard now. Another thunderstorm is possible overnight tonight. Some fog will form. 66 muggy degrees overnight. 76 tomorrow. Off and on showers just about at any time tomorrow. And partly sunny on Friday. Saturday, a passing shower with a cold front. And Sunday should be a sunny day.
All right.
Okay.
Thanks, Tom. See you in the update.
Still ahead, some prize-winning porkers.
And the Philadelphia Eagles will visit their training camp to check out the running back situation. Plus, a live report from the State Little League Championships being played in Pittston Township. Tim Carlson will be there with the Sports Watch next. Now, for the Sports Watch, let's go to Tim Carlson. He's live in Pittston Township. Tim?
Thanks, Nolan. And, of course, right here going on behind me, the State Little League Championship. And it's the first time in a long time that it's been held in our own backyard here. And we're going to find out exactly how long it has been since it's been here. With me is Fred DeSanto. He is the Little League State Tournament co-chairman. And, Fred, how long has it been since there's been a state championship in our own backyard here in Pittston?
Last time we had a state championship was in 1966 in West Pittston.
All right. Now, what's all involved in getting the state championship to come to this area?
We put a bid in November into Williamsport, and they sent us a letter in January that we did receive the bid and that we would hold the state championship.
Ironically, there's no local teams involved.
Unfortunately, yes, that's true.
Well, the field is beautiful. You've done a great job. Congratulations to you.
Thank you very much, Tim.
Thank you. Fred DeSanto, who's the co-chairman of the Little League Tournament here at Pittston Township. Let's talk football for just a minute. And today, we finish up our preseason look at the Philadelphia Eagles. And we're going to concentrate on the running back crop. Now, Coach Buddy Ryan has the luxury of looking at several great running backs. And John Evans fills us in on who's going to get the 2 top running back spots.
The Eagles surprised a lot of people by selecting Keith Byers as their first pick in this year's draft because of an injury that slowed him in his senior year at Ohio State. That injury still hampers him now. While the rest of the team runs through drills, Byers goes through his own workout, one that will hopefully make him ready to play by opening day.
I was watching the scrimmage on Saturday, you know, just getting hungrier, wanting to get in there and get some action, but, you know, I just got to just be patient and just take it when the time comes where I'll be exactly right once we do start.
Number 41, Ernest Jackson, was a 1,000-yard rusher in his first year with the Eagles. Not many 1,000-yard rushers are bounced from the starting lineup, but that could be the case for Jackson when Byers is ready to go.
Right now, it looks like I'm number 1, but he's hurt right now, so I'm just, since he's out of the game, I got to, you know, I'm number 1. I got to maintain that.
In that group of running backs right over there, Keith Byers is the guy who hasn't made his presence felt yet. But there is a rookie running back here in the Eagles camp that they drafted this year that's making a strong push for the starting lineup. That guy is number 25, Anthony Toney, the Eagles' second-round pick from Texas A&M. Toney is having an excellent training camp, and he's using all that great ability the Eagles knew he had to push number 26, Michael Haddix, for the starting halfback spot.
Mike's doing, you know, really good right now, and Mike Waters is also doing a pretty good job. So, you know, I think I got a pretty good chance. I just have to learn the plays and be able to execute them as good as they are right now.
The Eagles have 9 backs in camp. Their average age comes out to 24. So whoever is in that starting backfield on September the 7th will be young and aggressive, just like the rest of this team. John Evans, Sports Watch 16 at the Eagles training camp in Westchester.
One more football note to tell you about, the 52nd annual Dream Game between the city and the county going on tonight at Scranton Memorial Stadium at 8 o'clock. It's been a long time since the city's won, 1983. I guess that's not a long time, but it seems like a long time for the city. They'll be playing that one. We'll have highlights tonight at on the update, of course. Let's check out Major League Baseball from this afternoon. Some games to tell you about. First of all, in the National League, first game of a doubleheader, the Mets beat the Cubs 7-6 in 12 innings. In the 13th, Cincinnati and San Francisco tied at 1-1. Houston leads trailing Los Angeles 2-1 in the 5th, and one game in the American League, Minnesota 5, California 2. That is a final. We'll be back on the update, and we're live from the Pittston Township Little League field where they're having the state championships.
Very good. Thanks a lot, Tim. Still ahead, when we want a story about the biggest hog at the fair.
We call on a fair reporter who's a big, well, you'll see it when Newswatch 16 continues.
Finally happened. Sorry, one pass them, Miss Ola, please. Oh, thanks.
No, but I want your chicken anyway.
It's not going on with Video Queen 1984.
Mazola margarine tastes too good for words.
Teenagers are the victims of over 2,000 violent crimes by strangers every day. You can help stop it. Learn to protect yourself and your friends. Find out more. Write to McGruff, the crime dog, and help take a bite out of crime.
Finally tonight, we don't mean to pick on Dan Fiorucci, but when we send him to a county fair, he has a tendency to ham it up a bit.
You'll see what we mean in a moment, but first, a look at this year's Clinton County Fair. It's the 14th year for it.
There are about 100 displays at this year's Clinton County Fair, 3 or 4 fewer than last year. One big reason, a whopping increase in liability insurance premiums.
Well, last year we paid $290 for basic policy. This year we're paying $2,900.
10 times.
10 times, right.
But even if insurers are hogging up some of the profits, they aren't hogging up any of the fun. This fourth day of the fair, there were hog contests. The grand champion, by the way, was this 230-pound porker named Tank. But there was also another grand champion pig relaxing right next door. This one has no name. There are an awful lot of grand champion pigs here.
Well, there's a grand champion lightweight, a grand champion middleweight, and a grand champion heavyweight. And then the best one out of them gets grand champion overall.
And do you know if this one is grand champion overall material?
No, the grand champion overall is down there. They already picked him.
Of course, if looking at hogs isn't exactly your idea of fun, you can come to the fair for other reasons. There are plenty of rides. There are also satellite dishes around to give you a look at the latest technology. All in all, before the fair wraps up this weekend, some 15,000 people are expected to walk through the gates. Dan Fiorucci, Newswatch 16 at the Clinton County Fairgrounds.
Dan brings home the bacon once again. That's Newswatch 16 for tonight.
Enjoy your evening.